Learning your prefixes and suffixes early in the course is going to be very helpful when learning medical terms. You have to commit these word elements to memory, which takes some time. It will not be enough to just be familiar with these terms. You're going to really need to know them. The good news is that when you approach the test by memorizing 5 to 10 of the word parts at a time, you should master them quickly. How many of these do you know? Ia, ism, itis, megaly, oma, osis, and pathy. Stop the video and determine how many of these suffixes you know without looking at your book. So let's take a look. The first suffix is ia, which means condition, state, or thing. And when putting this into practice, you define words by starting with the suffix. So ia is your suffix, and you would say condition of encephalo is your first combining form, which means head, and alge means pain. So you've got condition of head pain or a headache. The suffix, starting with the suffix, helps guide how you define the word. Ia is a really common suffix that generally means condition. Okay, the next suffix on the list was ism, and this is a process or a disease from a specific cause. In this case, we'll start with ism, which would be process or disease that comes from alcohol. So alcoholism is a disease that has to do with with alcohol. The third one is itis, and itis usually means inflammation or sometimes can mean infection. And if we're going to define this one, we would say inflammation, and arthro means joint, so inflammation of a joint. Arthritis, itis means inflammation. Megaly means enlargement. So cardiomegaly, if cardio means heart, we would have enlargement of the heart. Megaly means enlargement. Oma means tumor. So if you have a carcinoma, you've got a tumor that is cancerous. It's a cancerous tumor. So the next one is osis, and osis means condition. So in this case, we've got condition of blue. And when you get further into your studies, you'll realize that all terms don't translate literally, but knowing the suffix and knowing the combining form can help you. So in this case, a condition of blue would be the literal meaning, but the actual meaning would be a condition where a person has bluish skin or lips because of a lack of oxygen. Pathy is another word element, a suffix that you're going to see over and over again. And pathy means disease, neuro means nerve, and so you've got a disease that of a nerve. So now look at these again and stop your video and see how many you know. Ia, ism, itis, megaly, oma, osis, and pathy. And hopefully pretty quickly you're getting that ia is condition, ism is a disease from a specific cause, itis is inflammation, megaly is enlargement, oma is tumor, osis is condition, and pathy is disease. And once you master these, they should stick. You should be able to apply them over and over again throughout the course. So another set of suffixes that you're going to be familiar with has to do with instruments and procedures. And 3 that I want to mention is scope is an instrument, which is the actual scope that's used when a person is having a procedure that involves scoping. So in the case of endoscopy, they take a scope and they put it inside of the person's intestines, and they can look for things, the condition inside. So scope is the instrument that's used, and scopy is the actual process of doing a scope. Graph is the recording that you get. Graphy is the procedure. Cardiography would be a procedure where you're measuring how the heart beats. The graph is the output. Meter is the instrument. Metry is the process. So odometry would use an odometer to do a testing of how well somebody hears. So be careful of those, because the ending can determine, it can make a big difference in what that term actually means. More common endings. Tome is an instrument used to cut. Tomy is to cut into. Ectomy has the EC, which means removal or excision. So ectomy is to cut out something surgically. And ostomy is to create a new surgical opening. So all of them have to do with cutting, but tome is the instrument. Tomy is to cut into. Ectomy is to cut something out. And ostomy is the surgical creation of a new opening. So hopefully those will help you on your way towards studying your suffixes and prefixes.